Welcome to Two Chicks and a Horror Flick, a weekly horror movie review podcast. I'm Tawny Ray.
And I'm Felicia Connor. Subscribe to get new episodes every Wednesday. We dive into trivia, drink a little whiskey, and of course, give our no BS opinions.
Join our Discord server or message us on social media to talk all things scary.
And if you like the show, consider supporting us on Patreon.
You can find all these links on our website, twochicksandahorrorflick.com. Thanks for listening.
Now let's get scared. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We saw you yesterday, we hope, and we hope you had a wonderful Valentine's Day. We are back for our second romantic double feature, which is Life After Beth. But before we get into it, Tawny, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking an orange Olipop this episode.
Rebel.
I know. Finished my grape from last episode because we're recording on the same day.
I know.
Which is also why we look the same, but that's okay. We have other things to talk about.
I literally was going to pretend it was a whole new episode. So I got a new drink and then I thought, well, no, I need like new clothes, new makeup, new. Yeah,
right, we look the same.
I still didn't unpack, guys.
That's okay, though, because I did remember. It's not that I saved it because I didn't think that far ahead, but I remember now a thing that I was going to say that I have done since we talked last.
Nice. Okay, this is good.
Yeah.
All right.
That's me. Yeah. What about you? Tell us about your... I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. So I am drinking a spicy jalapeno mule mocktail. So I'm still doing the mocktail. I mean, it's been 2 hours. I was going to pretend it was a whole nother day, but it is super good. Steve even sipped it and went, oh, wow, that's good. You wouldn't even know that it wasn't a regular Moscow Mule. And it's like ginger beer, fresh lemon juice, agave nectar, and jalapeno. And I just realized it says 4 jalapeno slices and I only put 2. What the hell, Felicia? But anyways, it's really yummy and fresh.
I'm not a fan of spicy drinks, but it does sound good.
Okay, I won't send you that one.
Okay.
Hint received. All right, tell us, what is this thing that you've been up to?
Okay, so the only thing, this isn't a huge deal, but got a little bit of money for my birthday and used it very irresponsibly on a handful of clothing items. Okay. Mm-hmm. Very excited about this though, because it's like some weird shit. Like I've been wanting one of those like leather harnesses. Have you seen these? People wear these?
Yes. Yeah. My daughter has some. You as clothes. I don't want anyone getting like pervy.
Yeah.
Right. They sell them everywhere.
And they're like cool. You can wear them over shirts, dresses, sweaters, whatever, and they're cool. I found one that I think is going to be really interesting that is like a little bit more my style. I just don't think I'm quite that edgy. You know what I mean? Like I don't know if I can go full harness, but some cool accessories like that or like Dickies. I just didn't even realize that this was a thing, but I love a collar. Okay. But like layering to get a collar under clothes is kind of a pain in the ass. And you have to like have the right type of things to layer with. Not with a Dickie, okay? You put the Dickie under and it's just like a little if you don't know what it is, it's just like a collar or whatever that goes up. It goes under your shirt, but it's not like a full shirt. So it's just like a little bit of material. So you
a little bib with a collar.
Yeah, well said, yeah. And it doesn't like make it uncomfortable because you're wearing too many layers. So I'll have to update you.
You got like 50 of them?
With those. Yeah, I got 50.
Harnesses and Dickies.
No, but then I got some little bows to go in, like under the collar, because I feel like I have collared things, but I always feel like I'm missing something because I want something to go in between the collar. Anyway, I'll have to just update you later when I get them.
That is fun, yes.
But I'm excited. That was like a fun birthday gift for myself. Like I was like, I could save this money and be responsible, or I could buy a bunch of shit I don't need.
Nice. That's the way to go.
Yeah.
That's the way I do it. Awesome.
Yeah. What about you? You saved something. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Well, no, I was just thinking of birthday gifts. Thank you Tawny. She got me this book, a writing book, and she got me a poster. You can maybe see it if you zoom in right here. Don't Worry, Darling, my favorite Don't Worry, Darling poster. I'm so excited. I'll tag the artist as well. And thank you also to A Podcast on Elm Street because they got me a Black Phillip poster that was super cool. I absolutely love it. Very, very exciting. And sitting waiting for me right now is a present from Christine for my birthday too. But it's in the mailbox, so I'll have to talk about it next time.
Also from me though, thank you also to A Podcast on Elm Street because they sent me a Pyramid Head poster, and I have it back here, but it's tucked behind my book because I really need to get on putting stuff up on my wall back here. I just haven't done it yet, but it's real neat. Love it.
Nice. What I have watched that I saved to try to pretend this was a new day is me and Steve, actually, and he is not a true crime guy. We have been watching Dateline The Last Day. So there's, I believe we watched it on Peacock, but there's Dateline where you could watch all the Dateline stuff. But this is a specific Dateline The Last Day, and it's a whole series of crimes that happened where they try to track the steps of the victim's last day to lead them to who committed the crime. And this is another one where we sit down and Steve's like, do you want to watch another of those episodes? Which I'm shocked because he never wants to watch true crime. Yeah. And so it really, really cool. Really, I mean, it's really good how they do it. They talk about what happened and you think you might have it figured out, but you don't. It really just retraces the steps on how they found all the pieces of information to then discovering the perpetrator. And I really like it because they discover the perpetrator.
Nice. You know? That's good.
Yeah. It's not like a cold case thing where you don't have a resolution at the end. Really well done. We are really enjoying that.
Cool. And you said it's on Peacock?
Yeah, I believe. Yes, we were watching it on Peacock.
Our Peacock app is like broken. It won't open. Like won't even launch, just won't do anything.
Maybe you need to uninstall and put it back.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is definitely Peacock because there's like the little commercials in between.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Neat.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah, not a lot to talk about after talking about it last episode.
So let's get into it. All right, friends, we are talking about Life After Beth. It's from 2014. I watched it on HBO Max, if you have it. The director was Jeff Baena, and his wife is Aubrey Plaza.
Oh, shit, really?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Because I was seeing, like, other movies. I don't think I've seen any of the other movies that he's done, but I was like, why is Aubrey Plaza in every single one of these movies?
Yes, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Some of the other movies, Horse Girl, The Little Hours, Joshy, I haven't seen any of those. I have seen I Heart Huckabees, and I really liked that movie. So that was the only one that I recognized. Really cute.
I've seen Horse Girl.
Oh, yeah?
It's fucking weird.
Okay. Sounds weird, but...
Yeah. With Allison Brie. That's another person that seems to come up in his movies a lot lately. I don't know. I was just having like a weird... I don't normally try to stay away from what the other movies are so that I can be surprised when you tell me. But
not today.
I looked through them just because I was like curious. Because I was thinking about Allison Brie. Like she came up on one of his movies and I was like, God, she just seems like she's been in fucking everything lately. So she was in at least 2 or 3. She was in... Oh God, she was definitely in Horse Girl. But
I recognize her from Mad Men. That's who I recognize her from. Mad Men.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, she's one of the guy's wives. Of course, because that was the only role for women in that movie, was being a wife.
Yeah.
Okay. Jeff also wrote this. He's the writer as well. Our cast is Aubrey Plaza as Beth, Dane DeHaan as Zach, John C. Reilly as Maury, which is Beth's dad, Molly Shannon as Jeannie, Beth's mom, Cheryl Hines as Judy, Zach's mom, Paul Reiser as Noah, who is Zach's dad, Matthew Gray Gubler is Kyle, which is Zach's brother, and then Anna Kendrick is Erica. The budget was $2.4 million, and the reported box office was $275,000.
Wow, rough, dude.
Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 45%. IMDb a 5.6 out of 10. And Letterboxd is a 2.8 out of 5.
Oh my God. Ouch. Okay. All right. I mean, weird. I wonder if this is like an indie film. I don't know. Now I don't even remember how I watched it.
Yeah, I probably should have done more research on that.
It's got a stacked cast, though.
Yeah. It's got a... Did they make any money? I mean, that seems like the entire cast was paid whatever was made from the movie.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay.
That's all I've got. So now we're going to move on with 2 minutes with Tawny.
Yeah, my turn. I did like a really fucking short one on this, so.
Cool.
It will be 20 seconds with Tawny, probably. Turn back now if you don't want this spoiled for you. Here we go. Beth Slocum dies after being bit by a snake on a hike. Obviously, her family is devastated, but so is her boyfriend Zach, who ends up bonding with her parents in their collective grief. Then one day, Beth shows back up at home with no memory of dying. Her parents make Zach go along with pretending that everything is fine, but Beth clearly isn't fine. Over time, she begins to have mood swings, super strength, and is only soothed by smooth jazz. More people seem to be resurrected, and the town goes into full panic mode. After Beth eats a guy, she's clearly not the same. Zach takes her on a hike and tells her all the things that he wished he had said to her, and that he loves her before shooting her in the head. After that, the town is suddenly fine again, and they all try to move on. The end.
20 minutes with Tawny. Don't be greedy. You just had 2 minutes in the last episode. So.
Right.
All right. Tawny, how did you feel about this movie?
That one did take up all of my summary energy, as you can tell. I feel like Bones and All was like really kind of hard. I feel I had to get all the, story beats in there because it's like important. This one, I was like, I don't have enough mental capacity. I just did a real short one. Anyway, how I felt about this movie. Well, I had seen it before. So, but I remember feeling like that was better than I thought it was going to be. I remember being pleasantly surprised by the movie. So I've always felt like, that was a good movie. So I wanted to watch it again. And I'll say that I feel about the same. Like I don't know if it was like fantastic, but I liked the humor in it because it is kind of like a horror romance. It's definitely like a horror comedy first and foremost. For sure. And it has like a little bit of romance in it. But I really like the acting in this. The cast overall was really good. And it was just really funny. Aubrey Plaza is great. And so I had a lot of fun with it. And that's how I feel. How did you feel about it?
I feel the same. And I'm sorry to sound like a broken record. I feel the same way I felt about the other two movies.
Yeah.
I just don't think horror romance is my jam. I'm thinking maybe there's too many elements. Like, because I have started to like a lot of horror comedy type. Now maybe when adding the third horror comedy romance, maybe it's too much. I liked the acting. I thought there were a lot of funny beats. I just found myself also like with the funny beats, I would have a giggle.
Yeah. It
wasn't like Tucker and Dale vs. Evil where I'm laughing. It's just so fucking ridiculous. I'm laughing. I love laughing like that. But I was like, oh, that was cute. That was witty. I liked that. It made me giggle a little bit. I thought the acting was really good. I feel about it the same way I felt about Warm Bodies, honestly.
Yeah. Okay.
Except I enjoyed more of the actors in this movie. I love Molly Shannon. I love, I just was going to call him Riley. But John C. Reilly, love. Paul Reiser. Oh my gosh. And one of my favorite characters, honestly, after Aubrey Plaza, because I love her too. She's so fun. And she was really committed to that role. It was a lot of fun. Was the brother, Matthew Gray.
Me fucking too. Me fucking too.
What are you doing? Just cleaning my Colt 59, whatever the gun was. Like,
yeah, Desert Eagle.
Dude, just cleaning my Desert Eagle. Dude, he was so funny. I enjoyed him throughout the entire thing.
I do think he was the funniest part of the movie for me. Like, and that in the final scene where he sees him out in the street and they're having this like interaction, and he goes, I've always wanted to just shoot people. He was like, maybe you should come up with a better dream.
Yes. This was literally one of the moments I laughed out loud.
Yeah, this was like very funny. And I just felt like it culminated, like over the whole movie, like we're planting little seeds for the brother, and there are funny moments in their own right, but just the him getting to actually live out his dreams of like this us versus them thing. I don't know. It was just so funny. I always
wanted to kill people, and I'm very disappointed. It wasn't what I expected sort of energy. That was hilarious. There was lots of little things that was so silly that were added in real quick moments. The little things, like I also loved the grandpa. It
Me
was
too.
So small, and he's just so cute. And he's like, yeah, the conversation back and forth was so silly. There's all these little moments that were so cute, but I also felt like they could have cut it. It was long.
Yeah,
at times,
so interesting.
I started to lose interest. I definitely think this one was almost 2 hours. They could have cut chunks of it out. Like, I thought the whole thing at the beach when he was singing to her and she blew everything up. I agree.
That was like really nothing.
The slow jazz was funny. So they could have implemented that slow jazz in another area where they discovered that it calmed her down. But there was just things like that I started to...
I mean, it's only an hour and a half. It is a short.
Oh, I thought it was like an hour and 50 minutes. I was really like... I think...
Come on.
Maybe that's including the credits or something.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, because I was like, oh, it's pretty short, you know?
And then you wouldn't want it shorter. That would have been...
The pacing is weird. The pacing is weird, and it takes us a really long time. I forgot. I thought in my memory, like that she became like a full-blown zombie like way earlier in the movie. Like I forgot that she was like conscious and stuff. So I didn't remember a lot, which was nice because I kind of got to like re-experience it again. But it took us a long time to get to that point, right, where she actually eats somebody, which is kind of like pacing wise, it's weird. It takes us a really long time. But one of the other things that I thought was really funny is that the continuing asking her if she was hungry. Like he was so nervous. He just kept being like, are you feeling hungry? Do you want to eat? She's like, no, I'm not hungry.
Yes. It was so cute. I really wasn't, again, with our main character, like we talked about with Bones and all, I just wasn't very impressed, or I didn't like Zach's character as much. I thought, oh, maybe if Timothy was that, but I know he plays more serious characters, but just like maybe a different actor. I liked those things you're talking about, but there's just something about him in particular that I didn't feel very, I don't know. I just wasn't getting what I wanted from him.
Interesting. I didn't feel that way with him. I liked him a lot, and I felt like his character and the guy who plays this character is very expressive. And so that was nice. I think, you know, after kind of the subtlety of Bones and all, like coming to this, that's like a little bit more, I don't know, like, I want to say poppy in a way. And so he's like riding this roller coaster of emotions. I liked that because it was a little bit just more fun and funny and different from what we just watched, you know?
Yeah, you're right. I didn't mean it like, she wasn't given a lot. He was. Like, he did good in this role. I think I just didn't, I don't know. I just didn't like him particularly. I don't know why.
That's cool. You don't have to. I did.
I would.
But some of his like reactions were just like really funny to me. Like they were just his like disbelief. Or like when he was trying to pretend like everything's cool and he's like, I forgot something in my car. She's like, where are you going? He's like, I forgot something in my car. I don't know.
You're right. He did bring it. He did. And that whole end scene too, like right when he's about, you could tell he's struggling with having to shoot her, but knowing, and how fucking ridiculous when she rolls down and her body parts are coming off to that song. It's just, it was so absurd. It was great.
Yeah. I wasn't quite sure how to feel about that because I was like, it's like, it's so absurd that it becomes funny, but it's also kind of very sad in the moment of it. But
the brother was my favorite character, and Molly Shannon, because she's Molly Shannon, that she's so fucking brilliant. And what sticks out to me is she's like feeding her daughter her hand. And he's like, what are you doing? I don't know. She's hungry. And just like, I don't know. Her fucking comedic timing is brilliant. I just love her.
I also loved how she kept like the dynamic between her and her husband, like, and him keeps being like, whose side are you on? Like, cause she's not going along with what he wants them to be doing. And at some point there's a line where he's like, stop triangulating. I thought that was really funny. Like, I don't know. It was just like a really quick little script thing.
It's very cute. Really, really good moments.
Yeah.
Oh, and if you've listened to all of our episodes this month, you could probably already say what I'm going to say. I also liked how it was a new take on zombies. So again, there's new takes in these romances. And this is one where when the person turns into a zombie, they don't ultimately become this ravaging eating machine. They have thoughts and consciousness, kinds of like warm bodies, but then progressively get worse. And then also this whole snake thing. Was she bit by a snake or was she bit by a zombie? Like, I know they say she was bit by a snake, but did they assume she was bit by a snake because she was out walking? And what else would you think? Or was there something within this particular snake's venom? Was the snake infected? So it's just curious. But I liked this different take on things because we're given a very specific idea of what a zombie is. Even in the show The Last of Us that we're watching, right? They might be different the way they turn into zombies or what they become, but it's, and I'm not talking about the show in particular, I'm talking about in general, but they're always kind of the same. They're like these mindless devouring machines. So I like that.
Me too. And I'm wondering, what a weird, because we are on a streak now of either cannibal things or zombie things, which both include eating people. And why is it that when we have a horror romance, like this seems to be kind of the go-to, at least for the majority of them?
You're right. You're right.
I mean, maybe it's kind of what you were saying in Bones and All. I'm going to be and you are also going to be very careful not to spoil anything. So no worries if you're listening to this episode and haven't seen that movie. But there's kind of I think there's a theme of consumption and desire, consumption and love, right? Like, because you're sort of consuming that person, becoming one, in the union of yourself. I don't know. I think there's something there. Maybe that's why all of these end up being in this realm.
Sorry, I just was hit because as you were talking about it, I was thinking, what are some other ones? Because then if you think of vampires are consuming as well. And so it's like, what else could there be? I was thinking in my head where you have a movie that could be a love story, but doesn't involve cannibals, zombies, vampires, anything like that. And one came into my head and we should have watched it. Piggy. I won't say anything else about it, but just that.
Okay.
Could fall into this. Oh, and now it's making me like it even more. And now I want you to watch it because we're watching all of these different movies about romance and different type of romance. And this is... Yeah. Ooh.
Okay.
We'll
file that away.
Let's file that, yes.
Okay. Yeah, interesting. But I agree. I actually don't feel like, and maybe this is where I really am curious on the patron pick, this next one. Mm-hmm. I want to get, like, please, if you're listening to this and you know of any other horror romance type things, please put them in. I actually feel like we haven't gotten, and there aren't any that I can think of, because we're watching the movies that we can think of, true horror romance movies. Yeah. I don't know if they exist, bro.
I mean, would it be like, when I was talking to Steve about this, my husband, he said, why don't you guys watch Interview with the Vampire? And there is a lot of romance in there. I don't know that it's a horror. I don't know why it wouldn't be, but there's not enough horror maybe to make it horror. That's something that pops into my mind. Or if you think of True Blood, right? There's a lot of romance in that. It's, but what else? I am curious of I can't wait. This makes me want to post the Patreon pick like tomorrow, and we'll just keep running through the whole month. Give us ideas, because I'm wondering what other people will come back with. And I'm excited about the one I just mentioned because I'm just very curious.
Okay.
Very curious about this. In our last episode, how you mentioned there's trivia you write down and you're like, oh, Felicia's going to like this. And I do the same for you. When I'm writing down trivia, I'm like, oh, Tawny's really going to like this. For this movie, I was like, oh, Tawny is not going to like this.
Okay.
There's not a lot of trivia for this movie. So I'm just going to pop it in here and then we can continue with our discussion.
Okay.
But the reason I don't think you're going to like it, it's because the only trivia I found was all about all the nods to Parks and Rec. And I know you don't like The Office or Parks and Rec. And there was a lot of nods. So I'm just going to name these 4 nods if you don't mind. And everybody, here we go.
I just want to say in defense of myself, I don't hate Parks and Rec. Okay. I do hate The Office. Parks and Rec I can get on board with a little bit. That's all. Don't come for me. Put away your pitchforks. Put them away. You can keep them out for The Office, for hating The Office, though.
Okay, so maybe you won't hate this as much, which is good. Nick Offerman, who I love, and who we all love most recently.
As Bill in The Last of Us, right?
Okay, I didn't know if I should say that, and I was just going to leave it hanging, and people are like, why? Why do we all love Nick Offerman?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, because The Last of Us. No, I'm glad you did. Oh, God, I love this man. Can be heard narrating the documentary on Machu Picchu in the beginning of the film. One of the several ties to Aubrey's role in the series Parks and Rec. So that's one of them. He's the one narrating that. The photograph of Beth that Zach grabs near the end of the film was clearly taken from the final scene of Parks and Rec, season 4, episode 6, End of the World. Near the end, Beth is talking on the phone with Andy. This is an obvious reference to her role in Parks and Rec, where her husband, Chris Pratt, is named Andy. And then the mailman is played by Jim O'Hare, who also appears in Parks and Rec with Aubrey Plaza. He's another one that works in the Parks and Rec department.
Awesome. I did not pick up on any of those because I have only seen a little bit of Parks and Rec, just not enough to put any of that together, but those are fun nods.
Yeah. I've seen all of Parks and Rec a couple of times, and I still didn't catch any of it.
They're pretty subtle.
Even the mailman, I looked at him and thought, gosh, he looks so familiar. Where have I seen him before? Parks and Rec.
Oh, yeah. In other cast, I can't remember if you said this one, but Anna Kendrick, did you mention her? Yeah, I think you did.
I mentioned her in the cast. Yes.
Yeah. The other person, I think, correct me if I'm wrong here, and you may not know either, but I think the first guy that we see in the grocery store, I think that might be Tim or Eric from Tim and Eric. Awesome show. Great job. I'm also not a fan of that show. I haven't watched.
I've not seen that show. I'm not sure.
But that person, if it's not that person, they looked familiar. I had seen them in something else.
I'm trying to think the person in the grocery store.
It's really fast, right in the very beginning when he's looking for napkins. He's asking about the black napkins. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And he says that's like a Halloween thing. Yes. Supermarket was Alan McLeod. Alan McLeod was a supermarket stalker.
No.
Yeah.
Maybe a totally different person.
He's known for Horse Girl.
Okay, definitely. Maybe
he was in Parks and Rec too.
Oh.
I don't recognize him though. Sorry.
Okay, so never mind.
Gosh. That's how I feel about that movie. It was cute. There was funny moments, the really good acting. What else? What else you got, Tawny?
I don't have anything. I accidentally hit all my bullet points right in the beginning.
I know, that wasn't good. Oh my God.
Short one. But
it's
one of these where it's it is what it is. There's, it's just a fun movie.
Yeah, I would definitely watch it. It was fun. It was cute. Would I watch it again? It's the same take on all these romance movies. Yeah. I'm not opposed to it. It's not like, oh my God, I never want to see that again. But I don't think it's going to be like my go-to or you guys have to watch this. Like I feel about Dale and Tucker versus Evil. One day I'll be able to say that name right.
Yeah, we need to frame that one. That one should probably go up on the wall as the penultimate for us horror comedy.
I want to rewatch it, but I'm scared to as well.
I don't think you should be scared too.
No? Okay.
As someone who's rewatched it already, it holds up.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to rewatch it then.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're not talking about that movie. I went off into a little memory. Made me smile. You ready to rate it?
Let's do it.
This is the shortest of all time.
I think so too. Oh no.
Okay, let's rate this movie. All right, Tawny, you can kick it off.
I think I'm going to do a 3.25 on this.
All right.
I like it. I think it's worth a watch if you haven't seen it. And this one flew under the radar, I think, for a lot of people because it does seem like it's one of those indie movies. Yeah, it's fun. It's not like crazy, but 3.25. I stole your score because that's what you gave the last two movies.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm also going to give it a 3.25.
Oh, okay. All right.
I feel like this is what was hard. I feel like I did enjoy all of the characters more than I did in Warm Bodies. So then I thought, oh, maybe I want to make it more than a 3.25. But then I was thinking of Bones and All and the elements I liked in Bones and All. And maybe I liked it just as much as that. Wait a second. Maybe do I like it just a little bit more? Because it made me giggle? No. Mm-mm. No. I saw Possum. I'm like, oh, no. I like those way more than all these movies. So I'm going to stick with a 3.25.
Okay.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. Maybe we should have released this on Valentine's so everybody could like get out and get to Valentine's Day dinner.
Yeah. Oops. Sorry.
All right, everybody. So for our next horror romance movie, we are going to be watching Freaky. I'm really excited for this. And I'm trying to pull myself back because I don't want to go in with too high of expectations, but I love Vince Vaughn. All my favorite comedies, pretty much all of them have Vince Vaughn in them. And it's a different take. So I'm excited for this different take than just kind of what we've been watching.
Yeah.
So if you like us, please do follow us on Instagram at twochicksandahorrorflick, or you can search for us on your favorite social media platform. We will be there and you can follow us there.
And if you want to support the show, you can give us a like, review, and subscribe on whatever podcatcher you're listening to us on. And that's it. So we'll see you next week with Freaky. We hope you have such a good night. No nightmares.